Assalamu alaikum, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala. As we are rejoicing and thanking and praising Allah, praising God for blessing us with this deal in Gaza, in which the Zionist Israeli terrorist aggression against our brothers and sisters, the innocent civilians, women and children who have been living and facing a genocide for the past year and more, as we're rejoicing that achievement and that victory for the Gazans and that victory for all people who stood up by the Gazans and by the Palestinians at large, as we're celebrating and rejoicing and praising God, we see that the Zionists, the Israeli forces, kill 3 Syrians inside Syria. The Zionist forces, the Israeli forces, they attacked a group of security forces in Al-Qunaytira, near the occupied Golan Heights of Syria. They attacked that group of security forces who went to that village on the border inside Syria, and they wanted to collect the weapons, some of the weapons that were in the hands of some civilians. And the Zionists, now for the first time, the Zionists, the Israelis, attack the Syrian security forces, the new Syrian security forces groups. They killed 2 at least so far, and they killed an old man in that village, Ghadir al-Bustan. We all know, since the fall of the murderer, the criminal Assad regime, the Israeli forces launched the most comprehensive airstrikes in its history. In their history, the most comprehensive airstrikes, in which they demolished, they destroyed every military location in Syria, destroyed all weapons and military equipment that the Syrian people paid for, but unfortunately it was used against it by the Assad regime. And now the Israelis, they, since the liberation of Syria, December 8th, until now, they're coming anywhere they want in Syria, bombing and killing, and they killed many civilians. They killed many Syrian civilians who were close to those military locations. And until now, the world is silent to this new Israeli aggression and provocation. This is the nature of those Zionists and terrorists. They want to take not only Palestine, they want to take Syria, they want to take Jordan, and they said it clearly. Go and see their accounts, including people in the current Netanyahu criminal government. They said it clearly. They want even more and more. So as we speak now, they just killed few hours ago an old man, civilian, and it is said in some news he was offering coffee to those security forces who came to his village to collect weapons from the hands of civilians, as these security forces did all over Syria. Because when the Assad regime fell and soldiers started running away and leaving their military locations, leaving the weapons behind, people came in and took some weapons. And the security forces have been, since the fall of the regime, going town after town to collect those weapons and to secure them in safe places so that people don't misuse those weapons, and so that the new administration spread peace and security and stability. The new administration in Syria, they said it very clearly by the head of the administration. They said, we do not war with anybody. We want stability. We want to build our country. We have people, hundreds of thousands, in the tents. They are still in the tents. They rejoiced and they are happy. They came back to their towns, but they're demolished. Complete cities and neighborhoods completely demolished and destroyed. So we still have people in the tents. We still have people suffering. We still have people don't have basic needs. And then above this, those Israelis, Zionists, terrorists, they come and attack Syria every now and then under very unjustifiable excuses. They have no excuses whatsoever. No Hezbollah in Syria anymore. No Iranian militias. No one is threatening the Zionists or the Israelis in any way. Yet, they bombed Syria everywhere, destroyed the weapons of the Syrians, because the Israelis, they don't want the Syrians to have any weapons to defend themselves from the Israeli aggression. So they destroyed all those weapons. They came inside Syria. They occupied my own city, Jubbath al-Khashab, and my own village, and many villages along the border. They did not only take the Golan Heights in 1976 and 73, they came in more and took so many villages along the border from the south to the north, and occupied new villages and towns. Why? Under what right? And they broke the treaty that is internationally agreed upon. And there's a Security Council resolution about it. They didn't care about any of that. They went in, they all even stole some tanks and weapons out in public. Stole Syrian weapons, tanks and stuff. And they destroyed everywhere. This so-called State of Israel, this Zionist terrorist entity, don't care about the whole world, don't care about any international community. That's how they behave in this world. And only the people with conscience, they are the ones who are able to stop the Zionist hegemony and the Zionist arrogance and the Zionist aggression against Syrians, against Gazans, against Yemenis, against people everywhere. I call on all Syrians to go out and protest against the Israeli aggression. Just as we protest in the States and everywhere against the Israeli aggression, we can continue to protest and seek all the legal ways and means. Everywhere you are, seek all the legal ways and means to stand against this Israeli aggression and to tell them they have to stop their aggression. And Syrians want to live in peace and build their country and have their basic human needs and rights achieved. Please share this message and contact your officials in any country you are and express that we are fed up with the Israeli aggressions every now and then on so many countries, because we want people to have their rights and we want the Zionists to know that they cannot continue behaving this way. May Allah reward you, and we are still rejoicing the victory in Gaza, the ceasefire deal where all hostages from both sides, they will be released. Hostages, captives, all of them, they will be released from both sides, and we are happy for this, and we praise Allah Ta'ala, and we thank all the courageous people everywhere who stood by Gaza. And we demand and remind you guys that still Gaza will be under occupation, under siege, and the West Bank as well. So we continue to struggle and to protest for a free Palestine and a free Syria and a free world. Jazakumullahu khairan. Wassalamu alaikum.